Do we go here? Do we go here? Do we go here? The wrists can baffle many of us, and it's very difficult to repeat when you don't know exactly what you should be rehearsing. Every waggle, every takeaway, every intention you do makes a difference. And I'm going to show you that when you set the wrists in this way, it's going to make squaring the club face a lot easier and your contact a lot better. Let's get into it. What causes too many golfers problems is not being sure when to either allow or intentionally hinge the wrists in the golf swing. And when golfers are trying to hinge the wrists, they're often doing it too late. And that happens like trying to get a wide swing, and then it's like, oh crap, I gotta hinge the wrists. But what that does, that causes actually a way more narrow golf swing, because we're sort of wide to here, then we're getting narrow, or we're hinging the wrist here. And what happens? We end up throwing the wrist as an occurrence as we're trying to get back that way. So we end up sort of casting, we end up flipping and not getting a very good contact at all. So what do we do to fix it? It's very easy. We are going to hinge the wrists a little bit earlier. And I want you to test this out and see how effective it is in simplifying the golf swing. By hinging the wrist just a little bit earlier, we're not trying to do it immediately. We're not doing it aggressively, but allowing the wrists to fold naturally and to hinge up to about waist high when we've got a full sort of wrist hinge. We're not overly cocking. We're not under, we haven't got this straight angle here. We're just feeling nice and soft, but we've got this angle. The club is sort of parallel. And that is a very good sort of benchmark to try and get to when the hands are opposite the thigh. It's not an exact science. That's not what we're talking about here. It's just a general intention that I want you to have. When we are here, all we now do is sort of rotate and wind up to the top of the backswing. I haven't had to do anything up here. And now I unwind, making my way back to the ball. And look, I'm pretty much where I was on that takeaway. Yes, I'm a bit further this way because movement is sending me back here. However, I am getting back into impact. I can release that club with authority. So how do we practice this? Like everything, we have to start small. Don't go wailing your drivers, trying to hit full swings. Get used to the sensation of allowing the wrists to hinge up and unhinge here. And we are releasing to the target, okay? We're releasing the wrists just the same back this way to this way. We're not trying to hit the ball hard. We're not trying to be aggressive. We are just trying to get the sequence correct and that contact correct. So we start slowly. Hinge, release. The better you get at those tiny little shots, the full swing can be built from there. We just hinge, rotate, swing through. And now I'm going to show you something that will give you the feedback to know 100% you're doing this correctly. A little checkpoint I want you to work on. I don't want you to focus on it in detail, but just be a little bit aware because it will show you how your wrist is moving, because we can hinge the wrist multiple ways. They can be here, they can be like this. We want very neutral, okay? So we want it neutral here. So pretty flat here, maybe a little bit of extension where this is pointing down a little bit, because you can see that the face is basically being reacted to it. We don't want it too up, we don't want it too shut. That's going to be your key. But as we rehearse these little hinges, we're just trying to get to here. That's it. Keep rehearsing those little mini hinges and those releases, and you're going to be just fine. But if you want 100% guarantee that you're moving the wrist correctly on the backswing and through the release, this will help a ton. What I have here is the Hack Motion device, and we're just going to do the little release drill, okay? What it's going to show us is exactly where we kind of want those wrists to be, even on those little mini shots, all right? So I'm just going to be putting my phone here, and what it's going to tell me is to stay still. And I'm going to make a short swing. And then the angel starts singing when I've got it in the correct position. If I'm out, if I'm too hinged and it's too open, it's not going to sing at me. If I've got it too shut, it's not going to sing at me. You know, I'm not paying so much attention to what I see on the screen. I'm really trying to feel what this feels like internally. And it's giving me actually a buzzing feeling on the wrist. So I don't have to necessarily look at the wrist. I can just feel it. But we start from a static position. There. And we release through. And it's giving me the correct feedback, whether I do it correctly. There. And you'll see, even the most minute differences, this device is telling me, you're in the wrong place. But it's not forcing me into position. I'm not having to manipulate too much. It's just giving me that feedback. So I can now chip, pitch, swing, as many swings as I want with the certainty that I'm getting that early wrist set, that I'm maintaining it through the rest of the swing and back through. There's other drills that will do that for us using the hack motion, but this is where I would start. One thing that will make this a lot easier for you is being aware of where you're starting your swing, your hand position. Too many people stand pretty square, clap their hands together, and the club is starting back here. We have to sort of work a little bit harder to get that wrist hinge early enough, but have it happen early enough in the swing. Because if we're starting here, it's almost like I've lost a foot. I'm exaggerating, but just to show you. So then I have to work hard to get that hinge. Or I swing up and then it happens too late. Take your lead arm and just let it hang. All right. Then we're going to meet the club into that placement. Now I've got this much more room and I'm replicating my impact. But from here, I can hinge a little bit earlier without feeling stuck back here. So this little setup tweak is going to help maintain that wrist position back and through. So we just make sure we're here, hinge, hinge. Easy peasy. So that's it, my friends. You can learn more about the Hack Motion device below and use our promo code to save big. Give that a try, with or without the Hack Motion device, and you are going to see results. Now, if you want to make sure that your wrists are working correctly through the entire swing, check out this lesson. It's going to make the rest of the swing much, much easier. See you next time.